We're back, and thank you so much for waiting for us as we tuned into this new screen. We had to restart the computer and get everything going again, and we're back. And I don't think that we had too many voices coming across, so we're just going to start over.
Okay.
Where did we start? We're winging it. We took a road trip yesterday. And we thought we'd liken the process.
The day before yesterday.
Well, yes, the day before yesterday. We took 2 days. We left Saturday, went overnight, and spent the night in Santa Fe, and had a beautiful, excellent time. But we thought we'd liken this road trip to the process of enlightenment because it was so fun, and it was so. It was just really it was a process of enlightenment. So. What we found, good. We have music, we have sound, and everyone can hear us again. Great. Thank you, Linda, for letting us know.
Yes.
And Jamie, if you're with us too, still, thank you. And anyone else joining us, Barbara, I think you called to let us know that we had no sound as well. So we're back.
Yes, the road trip was wonderful. And as you were saying before, when we had no sound, we were just lip syncing.
Yeah, we were just lip syncing.
This... the road always requires, the trip always requires preparation.
Yes.
And the ability to, wing it if something comes up.
Yes, it does. Preparation ahead of time. Samadhi game is quite like that. We're preparing ourselves for the moments that we need to actually be ready to undergo some sort of flux. The dual human ego is constantly, trying to get our attention and figure out how it is that.
Sorry.
It's okay. How it is that it can garner, we can allow it to have the identity, or we can identify with it, and we have to constantly be shifting back to the neutral witness. And Samadhi game helps us to establish that core reality of our divine identity, so that when things come up, we can quickly put them aside. Now, I was also mentioning how we prepare for the trip, but we also, once we get going on the trip, things that have been locked away in our consciousness that have been there for some time need to come up. And we're taking the lid off of this pressurization, these stored away tensions. And when we start to take that lid off, they seem to erupt out. So we have to find a way to transmute those energies as we engage on this road trip to enlightenment. And as we start
like a pressure cooker.
It's like a pressure cooker, and you take the lid off, and it's like, whoosh, it comes off quick.
You have to do it slowly.
So you try. That's another reason for Samadhi game. We're doing Samadhi game on a daily basis so that we're prepared for when that lid comes off. We have a storehouse of sacred light in our chakras that can transmute the vagaries of the dual human ego. It's really an amazing process. What did we do? We took off.
We left here and went. Jeff came to
yes.
do our cabinets, which
yes.
he did wonderful.
Yeah, beautiful. We had left a friend of ours to do some cabinets. We had tried for years to find ways to get our cabinets revarnished and shiny in this old 1955 house that we live in. And everyone wanted to just replace the cabinets. And we kept saying, no, can't do that, cannot do that. We have to have these cabinets refinished. And Jeff finally said, he came in and he says, oh yeah, I can do that.
But we had to leave because of the stink. Well, shellac is pretty toxic.
Which is another image, really. We're trying to make a change in our home, the quote-unquote home.
You mean with Samadhi?
So yes, we're trying to make a core change in our home, and it requires that we get out of the house sometimes, get out and let the process work while we're gone. Mm-hmm. So there's a magic in all of this. There's a symbolic magic in this road trip.
So the way to, if someone's going through extreme process, they have to lay in wait. But they don't have to necessarily just sleep it off, which sometimes works. Mm-hmm. But sometimes taking a road trip, going for a hike.
Getting out, doing something
out of
different.
The normal.
Yeah. Changing the pattern. In exercise, they call it cross-training. And you can do push-ups and sit-ups your whole life, and all you'll get is strong arms and a stomach. But what happens to your legs and your hands and your arms, your back? So you have to do cross training, and that's kind of what we're doing with a road trip. We're taking a time away from our normal endeavors, and the same thing happens with Samadhi Game. We take this road trip away from our normal life patterns and establish a pattern of divine identity with Samadhi Game. It's really an interesting little thing that we do with Samadhi Game. It's fascinating because they're thoughts. The thoughts that are written into Samadhi Game are thoughts that are not normal to our normal life.
Not the same prayer over and over again. It could be if you do the same, but there's so many chapters in Samadhi that you can tailor them to your daily needs.
Absolutely. And once you get to know the entirety of the manifesto of Samadhi Game, then you can page through and say, oh, today I need to do chapter 3. Now I need to do some mantras from chapter 4. And now I need to do mantras from chapter 1. In fact, let's take us to chapter 1 and do some mantras. We do these mantras Mondays and Wednesdays here on Samadhi Game Live. And when we do it together, we establish a resonance across the face of the planet so that we're actually, getting more out of it than if we just did it alone.
Look at what Jamie wrote.
I love Samadhi Game because it's both mutable and static. Yes. Thank you for mentioning that, Jamie. One of the things with Samadhi Game is that we have a dynamic, static form that we can always come back to. When we're in flux, when we're having a hard time with something, when our life is in upheaval, when we've taken off the lid and the pressure cooker is boiling over, we need to have something static that we can come back to and say, this is what I'm just going to do this. Because we lose our minds for a while. We lose our consciousness, and we come back to it, and it works.
It does work, Linda.
And if you thanks, Linda. And if you get really familiar with the mantras, then it can become you can change them. You can make them your own. You can begin to change words within it. You copy Samadhi Game into your own word processor on your own computer and start rewriting it. Because eventually, even if you did Samadhi Game in its static form for, let's say 5 years, it'll work in its static form for an entire lifetime. But if you did it for 5 years, you might say at the end of 5 years, you know what? That word would be better if it's instead of saying I am, it might be better if I said you are.
Or we are.
Or we are. Maybe I want to include a group of people in it rather than just myself. So you can change it out in your things, or you can put a parenthesis and say we are instead of I am, so you can change it on demand. Things like that. Mm-hmm. You make it your own. So Samadhi Game is like taking a trip. It's like you change things on the fly. So let's go. Let's take some mantras and get the energy flowing here today. Let me take us to the first mantra in the book. This is the shadowless light of Samadhi. It's feeling, tone, and state of knowing. Let's go. O glorious shadowless light of eternity, that brilliance of I am Samadhi, shining in the void as 10,000 suns, descend, 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 as the tangible substance of loving splendor, dazzling intelligence and palpable power for all to absorb and identify with, as the full and only authority throughout the earth, the boundless treasure house of the universe, and our infinite I am Samadhi, of scintillating fire and dazzling light, that I am. I release the power of mastery without limit now, revealing the self and flooding forth perfect miracles and all activities, bringing to pass the enlightenment of the ages, and letting every being on earth sense and surrender to the intimacy of this light.
Everywhere, the fullness of
this self expanding as love, wisdom, and joy forever. Now, great songs of praise and gratitude burst forth from the heart of humanity for that silent splendor poured out to all. Now, pure love flows forth from the heart of the secret love star, drenching the earth with the glory and ecstasy of golden pink liquid light. Now, the oneness of supreme love, wisdom, and blazing joy overwhelms this world of duality in its glowing orb of transmutation, reconciliation, and dominion, making of Terra a smiling sun of everlasting, all-powerful, limitless light, casting no shadow, and in which only that absolute perfection can forever dwell.
Now, I am
Limitless gifts of all good things, anointing the earth with abundance, healing, and happiness for all mankind. O presence of a shadowless light from out the great silence, we identify with thee now. I am the elation and exhilaration, freedom and liberation of this eternal experience and gnosis of samadhi, its ecstatic hearing, blissful feeling, cosmic scent, sublime taste, and immaculate vision, holding all safely within that compassionate diamond heart forever. I intensify this feeling tone of I am shadowless light in acknowledgement, acceptance, and awareness, surrender, devotion, and adoration for this state of knowing that this all-pervading I am samadhi, the intelligence of the heart that is divine illumination. I, and here you can say your name. What is our name today?
I don't know, because last night it kind of froze a little bit, and we had all those fresh spring things coming forth. So now we have renewal.
Renewal. Renewal, Gregory. Gregory of renewal's flame, or whatever you want to say. Renewal's essence. You can say something of that nature. And then we go on and we say, am awake, as is the ascended Master Jesus, to this shadowless light, its feeling tone and state of knowing, that I am that never sleeps and enjoys all, now and forever. Saturday we met up with some friends that I hadn't seen for
40
years from high school. Facebook had put us in touch again. Rita Horowitz and her husband, Steve, were in Santa Fe, and they mentioned it to us. They said, come, visit with us, have dinner with us. And so we met with them in their beautiful hotel. They were in a gorgeous, gorgeous hotel, and with beautiful artwork in their rooms.
Everything from Afghanistan.
Afghanistan and Istanbul, very, very Asian, Middle Eastern, gorgeous.
What's it called? Lady of the Five Sisters or something?
At the Inn of the Five Graces.
The Inn of the Five Graces.
It was just, oh my gosh.
And every room had different stone color. They were in lapis room. I saw turquoise and aquamarine.
It was a very rich, beautiful experience. And we sat there and we spoke with them. And one of the first things that Rita asked me was, what is samadhi game? And it was interesting to have to explain that to them in a nutshell. Just what is samadhi game? What is it that we're doing? We're shifting.
It's not really a chant. It's not a chant. It's a prayer that
calls
on.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Well, it's an affirmation. It's a powerful affirmation that says who we are. It shifts our identity. I think the essence of what I was saying to them was it's shifting our identity. That's why I was thinking about it. It's shifting our identity from the dual human ego into that neutral witness. And that's not an easy process.
To step out of your body and see how you're acting?
Yeah.
It takes kind of a slap across the face to even realize you have to do that. But with samadhi, it's more gentle.
Actually, I've got to say that it does. It takes a slap across the face. And for most people will come and look at samadhi game and just turn it off and never look at it again. And the reason for that is they need a lot of slaps across the face.
But they also don't understand the tool.
And they don't understand what this is because their souls aren't ready yet for it.
Right.
They're usually not ready. It takes a soul that's been really knocked around in this world of form a number of times, probably a number of embodiments, usually, I would think, before they can say, really, there's something beyond this dual human ego experience that I've been having. I can actually realize or feel that there's something I need to look for, and that this essence of spiritual self is what most people are looking for. And samadhi game takes us and shifts our identity. That last step, we've got to be cultured and ready to take that step that says, okay, I am who I am. I am that I am. Moses didn't come to that cave of understanding and realization and understand I am that I am just overnight. It wasn't just by just the grace of God upon him.
He had to be screamed at.
He had to go through experience after experience before he realized that he could bow before the Almighty I am that I am and realize it as himself. And
come down with a glow.
That glowing, fiery, burning bush in his heart.
It came in his face, and they knew that he had experienced the I am.
I am. In fact, all of us can have that same glow. All of us can glow with the presence of our own divine self. It comes out. It really does. People will notice. There's stories in the East of, there's many, many stories in the East of devotees, who really have spun the prayer wheels, and they begin to glow. They begin to see. You can begin to see the expression in their eyes, the fire of their eyes, the love of their hearts expressed through their eyes and their endeavors. And Samadhi game can do that for us. Samadhi game, if practiced, can actually do that. Let's go on and give some more mantras. Let's just sing this one here. You woke up the other morning with a dreaming that you were singing this one. Let's go ahead and go on and sing it. We're going to sing it in English.
Okay.
I bow to the Samadhi within myself, known as Lord Shiva, that is the true teacher. This Samadhi that I am takes the form of truth, consciousness and bliss. I am always present and full of peace. I am always present and full of peace. I am always present and full of peace. I am completely free and I sparkle with the divine luster. I bow to the Samadhi within myself, known as Lord Shiva, that is the true teacher. This Samadhi that I am takes the form of truth, consciousness and bliss. I am always present and full of peace. I am always present and full of peace. I am always present and full of peace. I am completely free and I sparkle with the divine luster. I bow to the Samadhi within myself, known as Lord Shiva, that is the true teacher. This Samadhi that I am takes the form of truth, consciousness and bliss. I am always present and full of peace. I am always present and full of peace. I am always present and full of peace. I am completely free and I sparkle with the divine luster. Ooh, wow. Getting
I got a little rough
creative there.
Yeah, I did. I switched Jesus for Shiva for a little bit, Why not?
And why not? We can shift all these names in gold that are coded into Samadhi game as golden letters. Those names are intended to be shifted to your exact heart's calling. If you love Jesus, say Jesus, Lord Buddha, Lord Muhammad, whatever it is that draws you to the higher realms, that draws you. That's why it's there. Another thing we're doing with Samadhi game is we're learning to love the cultures of other religious ways, other paths, and understand that each one of these paths has been given nobly and lovingly as a way, as a pathway to the Almighty One. And Samadhi game plays on that. We really try to.
And how about the life of Pi? He touched
on
that.
Oh, beautiful. Yes.
And that's won an Oscar.
Yes. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I mean, Samadhi is basically that. It's entrance to using all of the religions to get to God, and using ourselves as the receptacle for all that's so powerful. We just have to say the words. You can't just say, fill me up. No, you have to say, give me the water. Give me orange juice. I want grapefruit juice today.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It comes. It does. The knock on the door comes.
I am grapefruit juice today.
I'm getting it. I love it.
Okay, let's do the opening pillar of light. These are all the basic beginning mantras of Samadhi game. And we do them a lot because they work. The other chapters, chapter 2, 3, and 4, are fantastic chapters, but you've got to have the foundation. You've got to have the foundation of your divine identity rather than your dual human ego when you decide you're going to get into that chapter 2, which is all about really identifying who is saying that I am the dual human ego. and checking that out, and then transmuting it in the third chapter, really bearing down hard with both the understanding of the dual human ego and your divine identity at once.
Can you explain the dual human ego, please?
Yes, the dual human ego is, this world is, everything here is built out of duality, one and two. In the East, they even go to say that we have the spinal cord, or the Sushumna, this core of being, which is the I am, and about this core of being swirls the caduceus in the East. In the West, they call it the caduceus. In the East, they call it the Ida and the Pingala. And then you've seen the staff with the serpent swirling around it. Each place that the serpent's cross is a chakra in the body. It's an energetic center in the body. And those swirls of duality create these chakras. They create these flows, these currents, these little spinning wheels, if you will. Chakra means wheel. So they're spun because of the cross currents of the dual human ego, actually. It's in the Sushumna where there is this oneness already. It's zero place, zero or oneness. You can look at it from different perspectives. You'll feel it as this shining void within you. And when we say these mantras, the I am, you can begin to feel the shining void coming from the heart, and then qualifying it outwardly in these different ways that we do samadhi game. So the dual human ego is built out of this flow of duality that is primal to our embodiment on this planet. The breath, in-breath. I can't just always have in-breath. I have to have
out-breath.
Out-breath. That's duality. That's another reason why in the East they say, let's meditate on the breath. Because we need to see breath at its most duality, at its most primal form. We have to be able to see it. As we see it more and more primally, we have more control over all of the manifestations of duality. Otherwise, duality captures us, and we get caught in this wheel of karma rather than holding to the center point, this place of reconciliation, the neutral witness, this Christ consciousness, this Buddha consciousness, this Muhammad consciousness. So let's go ahead and establish. Does that answer your question?
Well, because dual human ego, in most of its things, it means like a decision between either right or wrong, or good or evil, hot or cold, and then you find the center. So when you say dual human ego, it means that every moment of our life we have decisions to make.
We do, and in fact, some schools of enlightenment say that it takes. What did they say? 10,000 right decisions to gain your ascension, your enlightenment. And so, yeah, we're constantly making decisions on where we're going to place our attention and what identity we're going to come from. And it's my contention that a true artist or a true healer, which we all are, comes from the neutral witness and chooses the points on the chakras, points of the wheel of karma, the duality, the points of duality, whether they be attractive or repulsive, to bring healing in art, because art isn't made of just neutral witness. It's not made of
just white.
Simply white
you have to add the
love.
Dark.
You have to see why love is contrasted on the other side of the spectrum. You were saying to me yesterday as we walked through Santa Fe how we walked out of the out of the museum, and I was going, God, it was a beautiful experience being in the museum and seeing. I appreciated the art from a completely different perspective since I've known this artist here and been sharing with your artist's perspective. And you mentioned something about how you add color. Do you remember what you said?
You have to add the opposites. You have to add red and green together. Bring out the qualities of both. But if you put red next to purple, they're both going to somewhat look red and purple together. But you do the opposites of each other to complement each other, and each shine in their own in their own right. It makes a painting much more attractive.
Yes.
So you have to have both. You can't just be always good. You can't be always warm. You have to sometimes. You have to sometimes be cold in order for the body to work properly. and this neutral witness is the ability to decide which you do. And the mantras allow you to make the decision when you don't even have it in your head. You don't have the ability to make the decision, but you do the mantras and the knowledge comes.
Yes, because it's the mantras. Mantras are putting mantras. I like that as well.
I'm not just Jersey.
The mantras are putting your attention upon the idea that we are the neutral witness, and just the idea of that advertised to the consciousness allows us to make more decisions from the perspective of the neutral witness. It's how this works. It's how all of enlightenment takes place. This is the road to enlightenment. The road trip to enlightenment is about shifting the identity into this neutral witness. And Samadhi Game keeps putting us back into that neutral witness. Just our talking about it. This is called satsang in the East. It's truth talk. We're trying to talk about it so we can hear it. Because as we hear the words, as we hear the truth spoken, we begin to actually become that. We understand it. It's like when you watch a favorite television show, you become very aware of all of its characters and the momentums, and you understand the plot line. You know where they're going. But when you first come into it, it's like, what? Excuse me, I don't quite get it. And as you become more familiar with the ideation that they're sharing in that show, you understand it deeper. And Samadhi Games, it's about understanding the path of enlightenment to a deeper potential than we normally do. If we never did Samadhi Game, if we never engaged in understanding or listening to the truth talk that is about enlightenment, believe me, your life would be all about survival, sex, food, and all of the greeds and lusts that you can actually have in this embodiment. And it would just be about that. And you wouldn't really make any effort whatsoever to move yourself towards this more, to put more of your energy into your neutral witness every day, a little bit more into the neutral witness. And it's a process, day by day by day. It wouldn't happen if you didn't put even just a little bit. And more on the internet and throughout our society, this idea of enlightenment is becoming more and more of a conscious decision. Samadhi Game is pushing the envelope of it so that it becomes even more of a conscious decision, and people kind of resist that, which I understand completely. But eventually, everyone's going to understand what Samadhi Game's doing. It's coming. One of our favorite restaurants here in Albuquerque, the Flying Star, they send out these bulletins in the email, which we're signed up for. And yesterday, a bulletin came. It said, food with an enlightened touch.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No, because I didn't open the email yet.
Well, I think people are really beginning to understand what enlightenment is. So let's go ahead and let's just sing some more of the Samadhi Game mantras. And thank you.
Yes.
I guess we can call this getting back to Eden, getting back to the pure enlightenment away from the snake. Yes. We don't want to deny that the snake exists. That's what everything is built from. But this and we have to use the snake wisely. You're wise as serpents and gentle as doves. That core being is that gentleness of doves. It's just so beautifully gentle. It's so humble. It's so powerful at the same time. But to use that energy in this world of form, you actually use it through the dual human ego. The dual human ego is a tool for this embodiment. We do not throw it away.
Right.
A lot of spiritual teachings say, get rid of the ego.
No.
And
when I
cannot.
use this bicycle, I have
cannot.
to pump my legs up the hill, but I get to glide on down when I get to the top. So
even bicycling.
I can't glide up to the top. I have to pump it. That's the snake. That's the thing I have to use the energy for.
You even push the pedal down, but the pedal comes back up. Push it down, pedal comes back up.
It's just not letting it take over. If I was Forrest Gump, I would bicycle to California, but I'm coming back home.
Yeah, but we saw Forrest Gump the other day. We tuned in. It was in our hotel room. Lovely movie. Opening pillar of light, the pillar of the world. Let's say it for ourselves.
Sublime I am,
Samadhi that I am, enfolding me now in that mighty, magic, electronic pillar of cosmic light substance. my identification with its magnificent humility and thoughtful creativity, so powerful and complete, that I artfully and magically alter every polarity with healing unity. Within this majestic pillar of light blazes that love as the violet, compassionate flame. In, through, and around my etheric, mental, emotional, and physical bodies, effortlessly dissolving, consuming, transmuting, and reconciling the dualities of my human ego, charging my world and all I contact with the tangible substance, living awareness and conscious activity, the presence and superconscious samadhi of all enlightened beings, liberated and ascended masters, seeing, feeling, and hearing this light as it shines, radiates, and resonates within me as a visible pillar of the world, stabilized, supported, and sustained by the brilliant, elegant One, and infinitely sensitive to that invulnerable state of divine I Am Samadhi. And we'll go ahead and repeat this just to etch it into the consciousness a little bit more fully. Sublime I Am Samadhi that I am, enfolding me now in that mighty, magic, electronic pillar of cosmic light substance, my identification with its magnificent humility and thoughtful creativity, so powerful and complete, that I artfully and magically alter every polarity with healing unity. Within this majestic pillar of light blazes that love as the violet, compassionate flame. In, through, and around my etheric, mental, emotional, and physical bodies, effortlessly dissolving, consuming, transmuting, and reconciling the dualities of my human ego, charging my world and all I contact with the tangible substance, living awareness and conscious activity, the presence and superconscious samadhi of all enlightened beings, liberated and ascended masters, seeing, feeling, and hearing this light as it shines, radiates, and resonates within me as a visible pillar of the world, stabilized, supported, and sustained by the brilliant, elegant One, and infinitely sensitive to that invulnerable state of divine I Am Samadhi. Om. And by doing this Om, we're letting the sound frequency just generate through our bodies. Om. Manifesting all the reality of everything that we've said. Om. Believing it all the way home. Om. We did it 4 times for the 4 points of the Zia. In New Mexico, we have the Zia, which is the state symbol. It's the cross, the Indian cross. So the 4 points of this quadrant. I like to think of the quadrants, by the way, of the etheric quadrant, the mental quadrant. Let's see if I can think of this. The first, from 12 to 3 o'clock on that line, is like the etheric quadrant. The 3 to the 6 is like the mental quadrant. The 6 to the 9 is the emotional quadrant, and the 9 through the 12 is the physical quadrant. So you have the etheric, the mental, the emotional, and the physical. So,
Okay.
Let's finish the mantra.
Yes.
Eternity is my home. I do all that is necessary to actualize this ever-fresh realization and organize my life around it. Organizing our mental worlds, our physical worlds, our emotional worlds, and our etheric worlds. There's this etheric membrane around us, which we're actually affecting by doing these mantras. The Chinese call it the Wei Qi. It's like a little teeny envelope of light around us. And as we do this mantra, these mantras, we actually thicken this envelope of light around us. As we affirm it, as we put our attention upon it, it becomes thicker and more dynamic. Whatever we put our attention upon, on that we become. And so, when we walked into that art gallery yesterday...
Yes. My God. I think we became art.
Yes,
As
we did.
Watched, as we looked at the pieces, instead of just going by and... we talked about every piece. And those around came back and re-looked at the pieces.
Yes, you know, if you walk into an art gallery and you really look deeply into the art and take time to absorb, you can actually feel where the artist has been, feel what his intention is, see what he's produced, and if you choose, you can take on that energy. It's an absorption into your being. It's really lovely.
It was an amazing day. Even the picture of the car.
Oh yeah.
That's a photo, and Gregory put his head just right, and I got the right angle, and it totally goes right.
Yeah, it was a very interesting, you know, exhibit of both modern and old pieces,
Yeah.
and that we saw yesterday, and this piece was a picture about this big. Of the dashboard of a car going through New Mexico. And I know that road. That artist sat out there on the road north to Santa Fe. We go just past Madrid. And as we're going on that big, long expanse to Madrid, there's that mountain just ahead of us with those cliffs.
Yes.
And you can see over the cliffs, you can see the mountains of Santa Fe in the distance. And as we were driving along there, that's what it looked like. And then I thought, well, this is exactly... I've got to get down there, so I got down there.
Yeah, he got that, and I said, I'm going to get the right angle.
And I held my hands just right so that they were looked like they were on the steering wheel.
And it came out perfect.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Make life art.
Yes. Let's go on and do some more of art, making life art, heartfelt, tangible samadhi. Let's do the heartfelt, tangible samadhi. O great Spirit, O mighty I am Samadhi at the center of all creation, radiant with illuminating fire, O heartfelt parent of all sons and sons, pour forth that life-giving power, and fan the spark of that divinity on the altar of my heart. Amplify and magnify this spark by the fire breath of the whole I Spirit, into the potent God flame that I am. O the shimmering fountain of life, that I hear, feel, smell, taste, and see within me. I choose this constant cascade of liquid light, actively receiving its shimmering directive radiance, tangibly and powerfully manifest in my experience. I open the innermost temple of love within this evident, ebullient, celestial, cosmic fire. I manifest that life and light for our healing and regeneration, letting the breath, height, fullness, and crown of the solar radiance of the sun behind the sun appear. I stand forth. Revealed in and through me is the neutral witness, that Christos, Krishna, Buddha, Allah, Pharaoh, Monarch, Divine Mother, Father, Sun conscious awareness. I am the visible, audible, intangible flame of eternal life, breathing the scintillating prana-chi from the source to the root of my being. Just want to change this, just comment on this. I am the visible, audible, and tangible flame of eternal life. That's rather an audacious statement. But the idea of our neutral witness is audacious to the dual human ego. It's really rare that anyone actually stands visibly, audibly, and tangibly as the eternal flame of life. That's a big statement. But that's what we're doing, is we're sort of breaking the mold. We're getting outside. We're taking a little road trip here to a new world, to another country, a country of enlightened beingness. That's what we're doing with Samadhi game going on. Breathing the scintillating prana-chi from the source to the root of my being. Liquid rays of light flooding my chakras, seated upon their lotus thrones of love. Molten gold of enlightenment, shivering its ascension up my spine, crowning my awareness with the diamond rays of attainment. As the white fire being of my heart, I dynamically emanate and transmit this audible, tangible, fragrant, delectable, and visible substance of living samadhi as creativity and direction. I am a sun in the palace of the shining void, this temple a glistening world of infinite space, the process of my transformations, sounding the melodies, harmonies, and rhythms of the great solar symphony. Just a moment on that, too. Our transformations can sound cacophonies if we want them to. Cacophony is like...
True.
A cacophony is a ramble of sounds. And transformation can take that route. It can actually go that way, and sometimes that's the only way it can go. And we have to realize, though, that by engaging in the samadhi game, we lessen the time that we need to spend in cacophonous transformation, and we increase the time that we spend in harmonious rhythms of this great, and melodies of this great solar symphony. It really does make a difference. A great yogi, Babaji, said, just a little bit of this practice saves you from great turmoil and harm. And if you practice just a little bit, it changes the momentum of your karmic patterns so that you don't have to go the way of experiencing karmic return. By giving a little bit of energy to this light in our beings, this love of our beings, and saying, we actually shift the dynamics so that we don't have to experience great upheaval in our lives. We shift the karma so it doesn't have to happen physically. Let's go on. I am that flame of light, here and now, because I am nowhere else, everywhere, ever. I am Samadhi's palpable joy, tactile joy, felt perfection, boundless being. I am that, I am that, I am that. I am this, I am Road Trip Gregory. I am Road Trip Gregory. I am the Road Trip to Enlightenment of Gregory Donald Brinkley. An embodiment, in embodiment. I am oneness lived. Boldly stating, but few state. Boldly going where few will go. How do they say it in Star Trek?
Boldly going where no man has gone
before. Well, some men have gone this before. They have done this. Jesus did it. The Buddha did it. Probably, I know people that have done
Mother
it.
Teresa.
Mother Teresa. St. Francis.
Mm-hmm.
Who you took a picture of yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's really amazing.
We have to
St.
tell the
Francis.
story. We just have to tell the story of this picture.
We were leaving the museum, and there was a center courtyard that had some great works of...
But it also looked like it might be an exit.
Oh, yeah.
So we went out that direction.
There was a huge Gorman, and there was a statue of St. Francis of Assisi, which now the Pope has taken that name. So I was like, I'm taking a picture of St. Francis.
Yeah. Oh, well, and your last name is Frank.
Frank, and I love
Francis.
Sinatra, and that's Francis.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I lined up my camera and took the picture, and he was taking a picture of me taking a picture.
Yeah, so that you could see that it was real. You can see that she took a picture of St. Francis, and I show her and St. Francis in the picture.
And it's in a shadow.
There's no light anywhere, that causes this to happen. And she took the picture, and as she took the picture, it has a ray of light
directly on his head, and
a purple
ray across the feet.
And the purple ray, of course, is the seventh ray. It's a ray of transmutation. The ray of light coming from above is kind of like, in my mind, I got the symbol of the ray of light as above is the Shishimna, the oneness, this neutral witness that we're talking about, and the purple light that comes across the picture of Saint Francis
of his feet, of his path,
is the color of the seventh ray. If you're looking at the different rays of the rainbow, but the seventh ray is the ray of the violet light. This ray that we talk about in Samadhi game as the combination of will, or the blue, and pink, love. So you need will and love in order to change things. You have to love enough to say, I'll change. I love you enough to change this pattern that maybe causes you upset. I have enough will to say, I'll do it. In fact, in some circles of meditation, you're supposed to say, I do, when you enter into the initiation of that path of enlightenment. All they want you to do is say, I do. It's like when you get married, I say, I do. Mm-hmm. I do this. I forgive you constantly. I do this. I love you always. I do this. I give you my heart and support you with every fiber of my being. It's a commitment. It's a vow. I do. And it takes a vow to change your life. It takes a vow. It takes will. And it takes love, both, to make a change. Anyway, that's said. Good morning, Barbara. We saw that you called earlier this morning, Barbara, when we didn't have any. You're good. It's good. We didn't have any sound for our first part of our broadcast, so we started it over about a half an hour ago or so, maybe 40 minutes ago now. But we love you and glad that you're here with Linda and Jamie, and there's others on the broadcast that don't know about how to sign into Ustream. Ustream is an awesome the medium that we use to transmit these broadcasts, and you can sign in with a username. And
sorry,
it's all right.
Are you waking me up? Let me have some tea.
And you can sign in with Ustream, get a username, and then we can see that you're there. If you're joining us on the archived versions, try to join us on the Mondays and Wednesdays mornings. We love having you. But let's go on and do a few more mantras. Mm-hmm. We're doing these mantras to create a resonance across the planet. Let's go ahead and do the affirmation and prayer of Divine Masculine. We had the question this morning, what is this duality? Let's break it down into masculine and feminine. Let's say the masculine prayer of enlightenment, which was the same prayer that Jesus gave. This is just modified slightly so that it includes all of the advances of enlightenment that we've made as a society since his coming and saying of his prayer. This is just a little bit more exact. So come on with us and say it. O sacred masculine essence of my eternal being, Holy One in my core, I am that I am. I am that divine masculinity within me now. I am the will of that kingly consciousness being done. I am the unchanging awareness of each moment, the natural spaciousness of each instant. On earth that I am, even as I am that in heaven. This sacred, tangible silence, death to my ego, source of my sustenance. This radiant gift of love, heart of my purpose, the Dharma, freely given to all. This shining void of stillness consumes every temptation of duality. This presence of samadhi dispels all cross-currents of the human ego. I am transfiguration's total surrender, forgiveness, and reconciliation. I am resurrection's focus of wisdom and power. I am the absolute cooperation of the inevitable, ascension's expanding glory of eternal victory. All this freedom forevermore, I am. Om, peace, amen, I am. We'll just go right straight into the affirmation of the divine feminine, the other half of this Ida in the Pingala, this feminine quality of being. I am the divine feminine, the direct and connected fullness of beauty and forgiving grace, with me now in the intuition, dance, and relations of my heart, chalicing the hallowed vision, purpose, and paradigm of the golden age dawning. Blessed queens of Buddhic, angelic, and Christic realms, Kuan Yin, Green Tara, Holy Mary, Pallas Athena, Parvati, Sarasvati, Lakshmi, and you could even include names of those feminine deities that are special to you. And then continuing, whom I am. Here are calls for compassion, wholeness, and the manifest oneness in the flesh. And here you can formulate your intention. Take the time now. This is like prayer. Intention. Prayer is intention. You formulate your prayer. And it can be an abstract one. You can have an abstract idea for like maybe more love in my life. I want deeper, more satisfying love. Or you could say, I want to, see this nation become more financially secure, or I'd like to see our families back together with great love and joy between brothers and sisters and sons and mothers. Whatever it is, you see as though you see that as actually taking place, as it has already taken place. And Barbara writes, peace, harmony, and order, and abundance. Those are the abstract intentions, yes, and we can have those. Even if they're abstract, it's perfect. See and feel. Now, if you were to feel how, if that were already manifest, if abundance were already manifest in your life, if peace and harmony were already manifest, how would you feel? Put yourself into that feeling now. Oh God. Allow yourself to feel how abundant it is, how good it is. Now. We're not waiting. We're not waiting for something else to happen. We're feeling it now, letting the feeling tone resonate around us of that abundance. Minting this abundance, the feeling of already manifest abundance, the gladness of that, into our worlds, into a golden coin. See if you can see the abstract of putting that feeling of abundance into that coin, allowing it to actually vibrate itself into a pattern in a golden coin. And now put that, and rather you can toss that coin into the fountain of life that swirls and dances all about you, or you could put that coin into your pocket. Just pretend. Just take your hand and just put it into your pocket right now. Just even do it as though you were actually putting it down there. And then you'll remember later to touch it again and feel it and remember it again, that it's already manifest. And that coin is just a little representation of it, already manifest. Now continuing on, guide us. Intensify our path, the direct and connected fullness of beauty and forgiving grace, the manifest experience of healing and truth, and the mastery, liberation, and triumph of enlightenment. I am the cradled babe of eternity, safe in the bosom of omnipresence. I am the cradled babe of eternity, safe in the bosom of omnipresence. I am the cradled babe of eternity, safe in the bosom of omnipresence. And safe there in the bosom of omnipresence, we can rest and know that abundance is part of that safety. Would the universe deny us the abundance of our lives? So we're shifting, you see, moment by moment. We're shifting our consciousness so that we can actually receive that bliss of abundance. How much bliss can you take? And that's the only limiting factor for us all. How much bliss can you take? We limit ourselves with the bliss that we take. We limit ourselves. Someone actually remarked to Robbie once on Facebook. They said, why do you always post everything so beautiful about yourself? Or I can't. How did they put it? Something like that, you know. And Robbie's response was, would you rather I post? How did you say?
What do you want me to post? Do you want me to post the dirt?
The dirt?
Everybody has dirt. Everybody has something else, but put the good things in. Emphasize those. So.
Yeah, and it's really true. We can choose the vibrations that we're going to. We choose to have self-limitations. We choose to have lack of abundance. That's why That's why the Enlightenment with Squares process has a lot to do with our being able to choose the bliss, to choose which corner we want. Otherwise, we'll get sucked into the corner of lack. We will have to get sucked into the corner of lack. If we choose consciously from the position of the neutral witness to be in the position of abundance, then that position of abundance doesn't reek of duality. It doesn't hold us to the wheel of duality. We've chosen it, but it's not holding us to the law that says we'll have to also experience lack.
A victim.
We won't have to be the victim. We choose abundance.
Choose to let go and forgive.
We choose to let go, forgive, to forget the negativities.
Move on.
Moving on.
Sand it out, polish it over, and make it new.
Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, everything we do, every day of our lives, every road trip that we take is filled with the symbolism of our own lives. It's got to be. And we have to start looking at our own lives as the symbols of our own path of enlightenment. We left this house to the hands of an artist.
Yeah, and he
polished it up so beautifully.
Beautiful.
All of the wood in here shines again.
Like
whereas
wood.
it had gotten sort of dull. And now it shines. And all we had to do was leave the old patterns behind. for a short period of time, and while we left them behind, take on this abundance. Yeah, we had to take on this. We didn't mess with it, Mr. In Between.
True.
It was, the positive. We chose it so. But we didn't choose it from a position. There's two different ways of choosing that positivity. The dual human ego would have you choose because of the ego. When we choose it from the neutral witness, then we're not saddled with the need to experience the other side of that duality. We've chosen it specifically for a specific reason. We choose abundance because we want to share joy. We choose abundance because we want to have the gift given gone. There's an altruistic reasoning and an artistic reasoning and healing reasoning for choosing that. Bab says, I saw something on Facebook that forgiveness is realizing that people are doing the best they can, and perhaps that's all we can see of that post. But yes, I think that it perhaps is very true. Forgiveness is realizing that everyone is doing the best we can. We had dinner with Barbara and Ed at the French restaurant. I can't remember the name of that restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
And you made that point there,
Yeah.
Barbara, and I remember that to the day. You said something about remembering that everyone's doing the best they can.
Yeah.
I love that. I always remember. I remembered that, Barbara. That has been etched in my memory. That was beautiful. And forgiveness comes when you realize that the person wasn't capable of anything more. We were talking about that earlier. Many people are not capable of even entering in to the Samadhi Game Manifesto mantras. They won't even begin to be able to do them.
No, because they have to learn. You have to learn to be a tool maker. You have to. When you have a tool belt, when you first put on a tool belt, you don't know what a Phillips head is. You don't know what a regular one is. You don't know what the Allen wrench is for.
Good.
But as you learn what they're for, you can actually see what the screw is and say, oh, I know, this one needs Phillips head.
Yeah.
And then this one needs a straight edge. But with the Samadhi,
we actually needed
the
that
more
yesterday
you practice, we need it all.
We needed that yesterday to put.
Not only did you know what to
put
do,
the basket on the bicycle.
Yeah. Not only did he know what to use, he knew where he placed them, and he made the basket perfect. So I can go like, I can go to the mailbox and get my stuff and put my milk in there, at the store. Up that hill, get my exercise. I know that's what it's talking about. You need to get beach ready.
First of all, you have to know I love you. Even in this, I think you're totally beach ready. Look at the picture I posted of her in the spa yesterday.
Oh my gosh!
I think she's beach ready.
Come on!
I think no one will argue with me on that. But she has this idea that she's going to really get beach ready. I'm curious. I'm curious now. I'm already enjoying the package. What am I going to think about when you finally get there?
Yikes. Keep me on a leash.
I hope not.
Okay, no, you don't have
to. Okay, let's go on. Let's give some more.
Yeah.
Let's give just one more mantra because we started late today. I'd like to give the Radiant Circle of Healing Love and the Art of Life and Liquid Light, White Light, because of the fact that we spent time with Art yesterday. And it was gorgeous. Art and healing in New Mexico. Let's go. Oh, Radiant Circle of Healing Love and the Art of Life and Liquid White Light. Encircle me now, encircle me now, encircle me now. I am this loving splendor encircling me now. I am this living prana chi encircling me now. I am this liquid crystal fire encircling me now. I am this samadhi encircling me now. This I radiate, 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 as the active intelligence of powerful conscious volition that I am. I govern this exhaustless energy and precipitate all things into form of those who come under the radiation of this, my radiant circle of healing love and the art of life and liquid white light, including, and here you can name those ones that are close to you, Barbara Forche, Linda Lally, Jamie Lynn, all of those visiting with us today on Samadhi Game Live. You can name those close ones to your family and your friends, your loved ones. And let's name the Samadhi Game Tribe. Let's say it all together. Samadhi Game Tribe. I ignite and I expand the illuminating center within their bodies, emotions, and minds into that active, perfect, and eternal garment of enlightenment. And you see, when we actually say that for each other, we're saying, I know all you people out there, and on the line right now, and I'm saying specifically, thinking about you and sending you this illuminating center within their bodies, emotions, and minds into that active, perfect, and eternal garment of enlightenment. It's a blessing. We're giving it to each other right now. O radiant circle of healing love and the art of life and liquid white light that I am, instantly bring healing to and make art of all dual human ego in my world, opening wide the door of my heart to the ineffable, divine, and present existence and expression and expansion. That expression of the artist within ourselves, our gift given gone. I am the wide open door of my heart, flooding forth the radiant circle of healing love and the art of life and liquid white light, the enchanting essence of my electronic body, and I am Samadhi. I balance, blaze, and dazzle the threefold activity of my heart's Samadhi. Ennobling love, wisdom, and power encircles me, now and forever bringing healing to and making art of every dual human ego activity, freeing me to leap into divine union with the source of these, the shining three. And by the way, just coming back for a moment, art can be an egotistical endeavor, or it can be a healing and an art form that lifts and raises the consciousness. It's really up to the person that's doing it. It can be just the most enlightening process in the world, or it can be being sucked into a egotistical framework rather than a neutral witness framework. We're saying it. We're saying that we are this neutral witness, and we're creating art from that perspective. Freeing me to leap into divine union with the source of these, the shining three. I am the mighty, magic, electromagnetic circle of invincible liquid love, light, and life substance, instantly transmuting and harmonizing, healing and making art of every discordance or distraction which seeks to enter or intrude itself, masquerading as the I am me. I am the self-sustaining perfection of my world, enfolded in the radiant circle of healing love and the art of life and liquid white light. The Samadhi that I am, I remain. Vanish the veils of light and shade. I abide in the shining truth of divine law and the justice of eternity. I am the lake of kindness, free of disturbing conditions, inner and outer. Om, letting these ideas resonate. Om. Om, feeling it as primal truth. Om, and we'll do it the fourth time for the Zia. Om, manifest home into the physical octave. I am commanding all therapies within this, the inner magic of my radiant circle of healing love, to be revealed with the art of life and liquid white light of Samadhi, the all-pervading, serene and harmonizing bliss. Accept it now. It's never going to come sometime later. It's happening right now. Let's just swim in the lake of kindness with Barbara.
And Jamie.
And Linda. And all of you out there who are listening to this broadcast, even in the archived versions. We're swimming in the lake of kindness. Let's just go ahead and just sit here for a few moments as we pull it home. Swimming in the sea of Samadhi. If you don't make time now to enjoy the bliss of life, when? Have it all right now. All your abundance right now. Take it. Reminds me of that Dexter program where the murderer was... he was doing that self-improvement program, and it was, take it! Take it!
Come on.
Anyway, Yes, excuses come easy. We're going to do it now. We're taking it now. We're actually allowing ourselves to realize that which is the truest, most primal truth of our beings, the most abundant part of our nature now. And by doing that, by having the boldness and the audacity to do that now, to actually feel that way now, rather than waiting for ourselves to see a great movie or receive a new car or whatever it is. Oh, God, I feel so good now that I've gotten a new car. Although you can, but use that as a springboard. If you get that new car, just go, there's a springboard. Now I feel, that's the feeling. That's the feeling of abundance. How good it is. Feel it now and forevermore. Feel that now, forevermore. Feel that now, forevermore. Now, forevermore. God, new bike now and
feel
forevermore.
Feel it at the sunrise. Feel it at the sunset. Feel it at the flowers.
Feel it at looking at your lover.
Yeah.
You know, so thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for allowing for this road trip to this other world, this other heaven of space that we can enter into with Samadhi Game. Samadhi Game is its own road trip. And we take this road trip, and sometimes things come up, and we got to settle it down, and we got to find our way. We're not sure exactly. Turn left here and turn right there. Remember, we were looking for Jambo. Yes, Jambo. And in looking for Jambo restaurant, because we just before we left, should we tell the story? This is interesting. Just before we left, the door knocked.
We were getting ready to leave.
I had nothing on my schedule for Saturday and Sunday. I had taken the days off. The door knocks, and it's one of my clients, and she's sick. And she's knocking on my door, and she says, is today the day I'm supposed to come for my massage? Because I really need it. And Robbie just her eyes went big, and she opened her heart, and she says, oh, come on in. Well, come on. Yes, of course. And I was thinking, well...
Come back Monday.
Yeah, maybe Monday.
I said, no, look at her. She needs help. But I said, come on in. I said, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, so we stopped. We had everything packed. We were literally getting ready to walk out the door. And I said, come on, sit down. Let's talk about it. So I changed my dimension. I changed my thought pattern, and immediately went back into the mode that when I'm with someone and I'm totally with them for the healing process. And took them in and questioned them what's going on, and found what the dynamic was of their life in the moment, and took them into the massage room and gave them a healing treatment. And we ended up leaving 2 hours late. And as she was so grateful, she was effusing with gratitude and felt so much better. And she said, and by the way, I should tell you about this great restaurant that I found in Santa Fe, so you can have lunch there when you get there. She said, Jambo.
Outside of Santa Fe, towards us. And it's called Jambo.
No, she's not the one with Lyme disease.
No.
But she told us about Jambo. And so as we drove up, I took a completely different road to get into Santa Fe. It's the longer path, just going straight up Cerrillos rather than getting off on the freeway at Santa Fe, St. Francis, where those of you who are joining us like Barbara know how you get into Santa Fe. And we took the longer path, the southern route through Cerrillos, because we knew Jambo was on Cerrillos someplace. And we're driving along looking for it. And as we're driving up, our plans had been to, maybe after we met with our friends, to go up to northern New Mexico and find a cute little place and stay there for the night while the guy put the shellac on the wood in the house so we didn't have to smell it all night long. And on the way up through Cerrillos, we saw this really adorable little hotel, inn called the El Rey Inn. For those,
all these tiny little adobe homes.
They're really old adobe, and something that today would be financially unfeasible.
Yeah.
To build. And we thought, well, let's just stay there tonight. Because we're getting in a little bit later than we thought because of the we got in late because of leaving late. So let's go ahead and stay there. So we pulled in, and it's a really cute place. Yeah. And Barbara knows it. Okay. And what was why was I telling the story?
You're telling the story of the past, because then after we
wouldn't have seen this place.
We wouldn't have seen this place. But then
if
later,
we hadn't been looking
his
for Jambo,
friends,
if we hadn't taken the friend,
and his friends later, who are not even from here, they're from Palo Alto.
They had made reservations at a restaurant. That's all we knew is they had made reservations at a restaurant for us.
And it ends up being Jambo.
It was Jambo. Come on. The serendipity of that.
There's 1,000 restaurants in Santa Fe, and Here. So
It's African Moroccan food. It's Caribbean, African Moroccan Caribbean food. You know.
yeah, it was law of attraction.
Law of attraction.
Really strange, but whatever. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason, and we had a miraculous, blessed
Yes.
weekend.
When you practice, I just have to I'm so excited with, everyone's getting the message. This is when you practice. When you take the Samadhi game mantras, when you take a day, every day, you take one mantra, even just one mantra, if that's all you have time for. Just even a word, and just say, there I am. Put yourself into that mode. Then all of your other thoughts become more attuned to that divine intercession.
To expecting miracles.
Yeah. It was in miracles come. They will, and it's not just for Robbie and I. We had a great time, and it was miracle flooded. Believe me. It was miracle after miracle. But start counting your miracles.
Yeah.
There's that old adage, count your blessings.
Name them one by one.
Name your miracles. Find them. And the miracles of your friends in your life. You're all miracles to us out there. Jamie and Linda and Barbara and all those who listen in to Samadhi Game, even though you may not want to be seen. Maybe you're shy or embarrassed.
Yeah.
But you're all miracles to us. And we count you as miracles, as well as everything else that happens in our lives.
Yeah.
Just waking up in the morning and turning over and seeing you, darling, is a miracle. And the miracle of your birthday is tomorrow. It's tomorrow. So, just diffusing love. Just diffuse love into your life.
Maybe you can ride
and the
me on
miracles
my
will come.
bicycle.
Yeah.
And take me around.
Well, we'll go for a bike ride
okay,
tomorrow.
we will. Okay.
Lots of love. Lots of love to you all. We're going to let you go. And it's been a little bit longer than normal.
Yes.
But thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with the miracles of this road music that we've been listening to. You're going to love it.
Yep.
So let's get it going here.
Hugs to you guys.
Takes a second for it to start up.
Yeah.
And then once it gets going, you'll know it. It's Lanterna. It's a group that I found years ago and thought, this is great road music. It's just great, when you're driving down the road, sounds fantastic. So let's go ahead and get it going. Saying goodbye. See you Wednesday.
Yes.
Love you all.
Bye.